Welcome to the Childcare Revolution podcast, where we talk about all things childcare.
Hi, I'm Patricia. I'm a registered early childhood educator working with preschoolers in Toronto. I've had experience with all age groups and all types of childcare that we can provide. And I'm very passionate about all things childcare and all things related to children. Being in this field for 5 years now has made me realize that Canada is facing a nationwide childcare crisis. We need appropriately funded and publicly delivered childcare now for all children in this country.
And I'm another member of this podcast, and my name is Stephanie. I'm a registered early childhood educator in Ontario, Canada. I graduated almost 2 years ago with a Bachelor's of Arts in Early Childhood Studies. And as of now, I've been in the field for almost 5 years, working in positions of full-time and supply roles. And I have experience from infants to kindergarten, and also experience volunteering in a hospital setting, an emergency department, which was also very cool. So I have a lot of different experiences with different children. So I've had I'm currently an educator in a toddler room. And I'm here doing this podcast because I love to advocate for this amazing field. Because right now it's not so amazing. It's actually pretty terrifying. But when you've seen authentic, interest, and play-based education where staff and families are treated with respect, there's nothing like it in the world. And we need to get that right now.
Hello, I'm the last member of this crew. My name is Tegan. I'm from Vietnam, and I'm studying full-time in Toronto, Ontario for my degree in early childhood leadership. I can't wait to graduate next year and start working as a registered early childhood educator. For now, I've been a supply educator for several childcare centers in Toronto and have been laid off ever since the pandemic. I'm taking this time now to get more involved in the childcare research and advocacy community, through which I've known these two amazing friends. And I believe high-quality childcare is a human right that Canadian children, just like children in any part of the world, are entitled to but are currently lacking.
Tegan, do you want to say how we all connected?
So we met through a community of practice for early years professionals that we're all part of. We then realized that we've been trying to advocate for children, for families, for educators in different ways and on different platforms like YouTube videos, Instagram accounts, blog posts, and even Twitter. So we think, why not come together with our common interest in making more voices heard?
Yay! So we decided to create a podcast because podcasts are a great way to deliver information. It's something that we can listen to while we're doing our chores, while we're going for a run, while we're commuting to work, even though we're not commuting to work right now. And we decided to start it now because the pandemic has forced us to stay at home. And we decided to use this free time to work on a project that has been brewing on my mind for over a year. And then when I met Stephanie and Tegan, and they were like, oh, let's do it together. Now we're doing it together. We're calling ourselves the Childcare Revolution podcast because the current health crisis is shining a light on how Canada lacks infrastructure in care. We're seeing that nursing homes, we're seeing the shelters, we're seeing that childcare, all of that. That's at the core of fighting this virus. And childcare is often forgotten by decision makers, forgotten by the media. We're always the afterthought. So we thought that why not start delivering the information ourselves? We're not reporters I have a degree in journalism, but that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm sharing my experience as an ECE, my experience as someone who loves children and that believes that childcare is a human right.
Something else that you can expect for us is to be blunt and upfront. We're not hiding anything in this podcast, so just be ready for that.
Yeah. ECE, Early Childhood Education, and ECEC, Early Childhood Education and Care, are two of the many acronyms you're going to hear on this podcast a lot. and working in the field that we do is a huge part of our identity. I think that all three of us can agree that when we're talking about ourselves, our professional side is something that always comes up.
100%.
For sure. It's kind of hard to separate yourself at some points.
Yeah. With this podcast, we're hoping to create more space for the conversation about important issues in ECEC, for more voices out there to be heard. I don't think that childcare workers, early childhood educators, I don't think we have enough of a presence that people can hear. Because we're trying to talk to people who are not just in childcare and early learning, but we're also trying to talk to parents and people who don't think they depend on childcare. But the reality is everyone depends on someone who depends on childcare, because you cannot go to the doctor if your doctor's kids are not being cared for. You cannot go to the store if the people that work at the store are not having their kids taken care of by someone else. So childcare is at the core of the economy running. It's at the core of a country running, really.
So Tegan, do you want to explain how our episodes are going to look for everybody?
Sure. So each of our episodes will have a main topic, and we're going to try to present and discuss that topic among the three of us with some information that we have, some questions that we have. And if we get any emails or messages with questions on the topic from the audience, we can share and discuss it together. At the end of every episode, we are going to share positive childcare anecdotes, our own and also listeners. Also specify that since we are all Ontario-based, that is where our stories and information will be coming from, essentially.
We know that Canada has different, like all provinces have different ways of delivering childcare, ways of funding childcare, which is part of the problem. And that's why we can't be experts on $15 a day daycare in other provinces. They're trying those things.
But if you can definitely give us some insight into it, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, if we could get people in BC listening to this or in Quebec, anybody, input, please, but be kind, because we have feelings.
So just a little note about our podcast. We are not affiliated with any universities, colleges, associations, or institutions. We're just a couple of passionate educators speaking some thoughts into the air. Thank you for joining us. Please like, follow, and subscribe to listen to more episodes of the Childcare Revolution. Our first official episode is all about how the COVID pandemic is affecting childcare. Send us your childcare stories, questions, and comments to our email, childcarerevolutionpod@gmail.com.
And that's pod, P-O-D.
Woo!
Yay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.